Well, I think the point is there's no really rush for me to figure out what's next. I'll know when I know, and it's a day after the season. So I think for all of us, we can all decompress a bit. It's been 6 straight months of football every day, consumed by day in and day out football, and I think now it's just some time to spend some time with my family and spend some time with my kids. The biggest difference now that I'm older is I have kids now too. And I care about them a lot as well. They've been my biggest supporters. My wife is my biggest supporter. It pains her to see me get hit out there. She deserves what she needs from me as a husband, and my kids deserve what they need from me as a dad. I'm going to spend some time with them and give them what they need, because they've really been giving me what I need the last 6 months to do what I love to do. And, I said this a few years ago, it's what relationships are all about. It's not always what I want. It's what we want as a family. And, I'm going to spend a lot of time with them and, figure out in the future what's next.
All right, that was Tom Brady from his Let's Go podcast. And today he posted a lengthy Instagram message thanking everyone for a wonderful season. And it read in part, I understand that at this stage in my career, there's going to be interest in my future whenever a season ends. But this week, all that is on my mind is the gratitude I have for this team and the fans that have supported us all year long. This year has been incredibly rewarding personally and professionally, and I'm appreciative of everyone who worked their ass off to help our team achieve so much. And he went on to say some other awesome stuff. And he said to everyone that was a part of it this year, thank you, I love you all. We all love watching Tom Brady play. We all love watching Tom Brady kick Father Time's ass. None of us, except for the people having to go through Tom Brady, want Tom Brady to call it a career. I think, no matter how you felt about Tom Brady over the years, he's become fun to watch in his relative old age. He's younger than you and only a couple of years older than me, but old for football years. When I listened to that sound, it was pretty ominous. I was like, oh boy. I was like, that does not sound like somebody who's leaning toward coming back for another season. What about you? How did it make you feel? What did you think after hearing him on that podcast?
Well, I heard it. The first time I heard it, I had one thought, and then hearing it again right now, I'm thinking of something else. But before I get to that, I'm going to tell you right now, you're absolutely right about wanting to see Tom Brady play. Nobody wants to see him retire. I'm telling you right here, the room behind me, Tom Brady built it. Thank you, Tom. There's a lot of Tom Brady themed books, living room, kitchen.
And
I appreciate you.
I owe my career in part to Tom Brady. I came in front, That's where I got my start.
Your career and first date, Mike, first date with your wife was what date? Tell the people.
September 30th, 2001, same date of his first start. It's an easy mnemonic device. But Mike, I'm glad you started that way. I'll interject real quick. It's sort of like, and it's still it's painful to invoke his name because I still get a pit in my stomach when I say his name. It's Kobe Bryant. We experienced sports and popular culture through Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe Bryant touched everybody globally throughout his career and his life. Like there's no sports without Kobe Bryant. It feels weird. Sports without Tom Brady will feel weird because we spent the last 2 decades with him at the forefront of pretty much every conversation involving the most popular sport in our country. You were saying.
So my first thought when I heard it last night was, Tom Brady's going to retire because there's a tension between what he loves to do and he knows he'll be able to do until he's 48, 49, possibly 50. That's not even the question. So, can I play at a high level? Yes, I can. There's that tension, what I love to do, and what my family wants me to do, which is clearly not what we want him to do. We want him to stay. Giselle has made it clear she wants him to step away. So how do you balance that as a family man? How do you balance that as a father and a husband? It's something that we know, we relate to. It's something we think about. Every decision you make, I know this, Michael Smith, and every decision I make is based on, okay, what do I want now? What's best for the family? And if those things line up,
no.
Yeah. If those things line up, we're in good shape. If it's, good for me or not good for the family, you probably weigh it and say, okay, I gotta go with the group. So
Yeah.
I thought last night, I said, oh, he's probably going to walk away. But he's something he said today, or well, he said it last night, but I heard it a different way today. I'll know when I know. Well, hold on now. If you're Jason Light, nah, bruh. You'll know when you know. I'm trying to build a team here. You have helped me. You won a championship.
Yeah.
And then got to the division round. You'll know when you know. Can you whisper in my ear at least? Can you let me know?
Yeah.
Because if you're not here,
it
got
informs
problems.
every other
So,
decision.
I think he's coming back then. Now I think he's coming back because he wouldn't. I don't think either Jason Light already knows what the decision is. That's a bye-bye decision, or Jason Light knows. Oh, I got it. He told me he's coming back.
Or at least he's leaning toward coming back because he wouldn't leave him hanging. Because ideally, in a perfect world, I imagine, in a perfect world, he gets time off this off season. He doesn't have to go to the mini camps, doesn't have to do all of training camp. He can pull Aaron Rodgers from last year and kind of take more time with the family, take all the time you need. You know what it takes to get ready. But even as I say that, it doesn't sound like Tom Brady. It's like Tom Brady sounds like the type who's either all in or all out. Like he's not a Favre or Rodgers type where he's like, I need a break from the grind. It's like the grind is what keeps him coming back for more.
Him.
Yeah. So I take that back. I don't think it's a situation where he takes an extended vacation. But speaking of vacation, though, what I appreciated about what he said with his kids and with his wife and giving them what they need, stepping away from the game and giving them more of him. The silver lining in losing early is that he's off a couple of weeks earlier than usual. Because typically, right now, he's still grinding up through February, right? Not so much this year. Maybe all it takes, and look, none of us know what's happening. I mean, we're all speculating. We're not in this household. We're not in this bedroom. We're not in this living room. But maybe all it's going to take is some good old-fashioned family time. Some vacation, some international travel, some fun time with the kids, some alone time, some quality time with the missus, getting away from football to where once it's time to make that decision, maybe they can sit back coming off that enjoyment and say, you know what, Dad, it's cool. We know you love it, and we don't want to stand in the way of you doing what you love for as long as you're able to do it at a high level. Because it goes both ways. If Tom Brady goes against his wife and kids' wishes and continues playing, then he's got to go home to an angry wife. And we all know, happy wife, happy life, all right? Like she's put up with it long enough. It's like, are you going to continue to put your family on the back burner at the expense of peace at home? Because peace at home will cost you at the job. That'll make the gig miserable if everything ain't cool at home. That's one side. On the flip side, how many times have we heard, we've covered a lot of athletes over a long period of time. How many times have we heard significant others that they think they want them at home, but then it's like, you know what? Go back to work. Like this ain't. I don't like you like this. You're miserable. I know you want to play, and I want you when it's all out of your system. So I think it's going to be a lot of give and take, and it's healthy. If nothing else, it's just nice to hear Tom Brady. That he, like the rest of us, like any other, like he's an alien. He's different. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. He's done things most of us can only dream of. But all of us as men relate. But what we can relate to is family meeting. And it's cool to see Brady going through that process, like any other guy.
All right. Now this is what he's got to get past. And you just said it, and I'm sure maybe his wife has said this to him too, or people close to him. Hey, you got to get it out of your system. Well, it's never going to be out of his system. Yeah. Because, Mike, you've mentioned it a couple of times. You mentioned it yesterday that Tom Brady's never going to be Peyton Manning 2015. So Peyton Manning, in the middle of the 2015 season, he got benched, essentially. He was hurt, but he was really struggling. And he led the league at that point, led the league in interceptions. Then he came back in the playoffs, had a good game against Tom Brady, a good quarter against Tom Brady and the Patriots, got them to the Super Bowl. And he was all right. He managed that team, but it wasn't vintage Peyton Manning. If you look at his last season stats, you don't want to look at him. It's not pretty. Peyton Manning, okay, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are not similar that way. Tom Brady's never going to descend to that point. So how bad will it ever be? Is he going to be at his worst? Is he going to be Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill?
I'll put it this way. It'll never
Jimmy
be
Garoppolo?
bad enough.
It's still serviceable. Still a good player.
Correct. Still can win a championship.
So you have to get that.
He'll never suck. And he'll never suck, and the game will never retire him.
That's it. That's what he's going to have to reconcile. That, because he said it many years ago. Remember this? Hey, when I suck, I'll retire. Well, you might never retire because you're not really going to suck, because you have the mental capacity to play this game, and you have the physical ability to play it well enough where in this quarterback league, you were born at the right time. So, okay. It's got to be something else driving you to retire. It can't be your physical ability. And
it's going to be his family.
That's what he's got to wrestle with.
It's going to be his family. He's always going to love the game. The game is always going to have a place for him. He's never going to be so bad where he can't play somewhere if he wanted to. Only thing I'll say is it's never going to be a perfect ending either. Because, again, he punted on a perfect ending last year. He could have walked off when he won a championship away from the Patriots. His Patriots career didn't end perfectly. And it wasn't his last throw a pick six against Tennessee in the playoffs. That's not a storybook ending to his Patriots career. This ends with a comeback that came up short, not because of his fault, but because Todd Bowles decided to blitz and Matthew Stafford hit Cooper Kupp with a great throw. But it was a great comeback. Whenever he goes out, you know the one thing he'll be able to go out that nobody could ever take away from him is he beat Father Time. He succeeded in beating Father Time. Everybody else can say Father Time is undefeated, not for Tom Brady.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.